This is a difficult phrasal verb, I think. So let's start with the verb, and then we'll talk about how it's used. And it's actually not used with cooking as much, but it's a good phrasal verb to know. So let's get the verb out of the way first. So sift, sift. So when you are cooking or baking with flour, you might want to sift it before you use it. And what that does is it takes out the lumps. Another phrasal verb, it takes out the lumps. So here's a sentence for you, or two. Many people will sift their flour before they bake or cook with it. They are trying to remove any lumps in the flour. So in the picture, that person is using a sifter to sift the flour. In case there are any big chunks or lumps of flour, that gets rid of the lumps. If you sift it, gets rid. Another English phrasal verb. Let's talk about lumps. Lumps and bumps are almost the same thing. If you have lumps, it's the opposite of smooth. So in that picture, I tried to get a picture of some like lumpy sugar. It's really sugar cubes, but it's not smooth sugar. The grains of sugar aren't small. They're kind of lumpy. So some people will also sift sugar. Let's talk about one form of lump that isn't fun, but you might hear this in English. It's the next one that's not fun. When you make your bed in the morning, you want the blanket to be smooth with no lumps. So smooth. The blanket on top of the bed, when it's made up, look at, we just took a verb and put an up at the end. So when you make up your bed, you want it to be nice and smooth. No lumps. You might pat down the lumps. Now here's the really sad one. Another way you might hear lump used in English is when it comes to cancer. So I think everybody can agree cancer is the worst. It's really bad. Cancer, one of the worst things. Unfortunately, you might hear lumps when people talk about cancer. She found a lump on her breast. So lump sometimes has a medical term, and it has something to do with cancer. So, but a lump on somebody's skin. You might have a lump in your throat. So if you are nervous and it feels like there is something in your throat where you can't talk, you might hear that too. Ooh, I have a lump in my throat. Could be getting sick, or you could be nervous. Maybe when you try to speak English, every time you have a lump in your throat. This is where the English phrasal verb comes in. So to sift through. So hopefully you now know what sift means. We use sift through most of the time when we're not talking about cooking. So take a look at this definition. Sift through means to carefully go through a group of things to find something you want and not what you don't want. So if you look at this picture, there are many things in this picture. And maybe if you lost your phone in this room, you would have to sift through all of those items to find your phone. Sift through. In a couple weeks, I'm going to have an English lesson at a garage sale. And a lot of times people will sift through items at a garage sale to find bargains. So how about this sentence here? She sifted through items at a garage sale in order to find the best bargains. She sifted through items at a garage sale in order to find the best bargains.